DJ Middle Craig of Craig's Middle Storm here, and I have one of the members of Heathen with me today. Hey, how's it going? Would you like to introduce yourself and what position you do in the band?
I'm David White, and I'm the quarterback. No,
Would you
I'm the singer for the band. Yeah, yeah, DJ.
would you mind briefly summarizing the history of Heathen and how the band all got started?
Oh my God, that's gonna take forever. But no, but well, Lee Altus, and his family, like they immigrated from Russia and moved into San Francisco, and his next door neighbor, Carl Sacco, was a drummer, and he heard him playing drums and went over there and knocked on his door and said, "Oh, are you the one playing drums?" He goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Someday I'm gonna get a guitar and we'll be in a band together." And then they did. And they put a band together with Jim Sagrenetti, who was in Mordred, and Sam Kress, who was the singer in the original band in 1984. And they did one show at the Mabuhay Gardens. And Sam was trying to do some kind of sacrificial thing with fire and a barbecue and started a fire. And they were banned from the MAB for a long time. It didn't go well. And the band kind of disbanded a little bit. And then a couple years later, they got Eric Wong and Doug Piercy. And I had just left Blind Illusion, and they asked me to come check it out. And I joined the band, right there about 1986. And we made one change, brought Mike Yskrimsky, who we call Yaz, into the group. Um, and we were gigging with Eric Wong for about 6 months, and then we got Yaz, and then we got a record deal, and we signed with Combat Records and did our first record, Breaking the Silence. And a couple years later, we did Victims of Deception. So, and now it's 2000, what, 25 or whatever the hell it is now. And we're about to record our fifth album, but we have a live record that's going to come out on March 14th. So I hope I summarized that. It's pretty
You
timely.
did good, buddy. How did you guys come up with the band name Heathen?
I think that Sam Kress came up with the name Heathen. He was a true heathen for sure. He was a different guy, And we were friends, but we were never that tight because we just, he was from the city, and then I sort of took his place, even though he, whatever happened with him. So I think I got his okay. But we never really hung out, but we were always friendly together. But he was a pretty intense individual. And when I joined the band, I was like, "What's the name of the band?" They're like, "Heathen." I'm like, "Oh, okay." It's one of those things like, what's in a name? You have to embrace it or whatever. And it was heavy metal, so I was like, "Okay, here we go."
This next one might try and jog your memory a little bit. Who designed the Heathen band logo?
Alvin Petty. It's my best friend. I've known him since we were 5 years old, and he's been an artist as long as that I can remember. And he's worked with other bands. He did the Creeping Death cover for Metallica. He did what is it? Swallowed in Black uh, by Sadist. I think that was the name of the record. Swallowed in Black. Did a Sadist record. I did a Hex record. Um, and lots of other like projects. He's done some backdrop work and stuff. But we went through a couple different aspects of the logo until he came up with that formation that was on Victims, and then it's just been perfected at that point. After that.
Who's all in the current Heathen band lineup and what instruments do they play?
Well, I'm David White. I'm the lead singer, and there's Craig and Lum on guitar, and Kyle Adisi on guitar, Jason Mirza on the bass, and oh God, Ryan. Look, what is Ryan's last name? I can't think of it right now. Um, I'm a loss right now. I have to look. I can't remember his last name. But Ryan is our drummer currently. He's been touring with us, but he also plays drums in a band called Aggression.
This
It
next,
was it was Jim DiMaria that played on the Empire of the Blind record.
Right on. Sorry about that, Dave. I got a little anxiety, so sometimes I jump the gun a little bit in places.
That's okay. I'm here to just have fun and talk music and talk about the band, so no worries.
Okay. What are the band's immediate music career goals?
Our immediate goals,
Yeah.
to make the best music that we can and to be really productive. There's been lots of gaps, in our career with records and having different band members and things like that, and life has gotten in the way a lot of times. So now, in the last few years, we've really tried to make a concerted effort to um, keep the pedal on the metal and get out there, get on the road, meet new friends, play with different bands, and travel so that we can sort of spread the heathen way and have a good time doing it. We got, like I said, we have a live record coming out March 14th. We had a single drop a few weeks ago and Sun in My Hand. And we have another single that's going to drop on the release date. And then we start recording in June for the new album.
Right. Just so you know, if you're cool with it, can we go back and get you to talk about one of my favorite songs you guys did?
Sure, whatever.
What are the themes and concepts behind the song Hypnotized off the album Victims of Deception?
Um, well, I mean, the song is about just in a nutshell, it's about, thinking for yourself and not to be manipulated, and there's whether it's religion or politics or whatever, and people, giving you false narratives, bad information, you know, uh, confusing information. I mean, we're living in a world right now where it's just crazy amount of info coming out of the airwaves and uh, from the internet to the television to whatever. And people don't know which way's up anymore. It's really tough. And so it's really important to think for yourself and be guarded and watch and listen and, educate yourself so that you can be a better human and be a better human to other people.
What made you guys decide to do the live album from 2025 titled Lead the World Live?
Well, we've been trying to do a live record for a while, and we had some live recordings from a show in Athens, Greece, years ago. But it was never complete as far as the mixing part of it and some of the correcting things to make things sound better or clean up things. We never got a chance to finish that record with some of the original members, and so it just sort of is laying and waiting for that possibility someday in the future. But our sound man, Jonah, had recorded all the shows on tour when we were in Europe and when we were in the States. And he got some great recordings, and we had to pick through a bunch of stuff, to put this together. But we felt like we had something that was viable, and we always wanted to have a live record. I love live records, and if they're good, I just think that it's just has a good vibe to it, and um, we're very excited to do it. But we talked about it on the last few tours. It's like it'd be really great to come out with a live record leading up to the new album, so we have something for the fans, something that they can chew on until we have new music.
Right on. And just so you know, courtesy Nuclear Blast Records and Kristen, I want to thank her for setting us up with this interview tonight. I jammed the album last Friday, and I think it's absolutely sick, awesome, and badass.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. You got to listen to it before we did. I'm serious. Like I've got individual tracks on my Dropbox, you know,
Yeah.
but they're all like they stop. So I haven't got to listen to it as a flowing entity live show. I haven't got to hear it like that yet. You know, I can't wait. I can't wait to hear it really flow.
Just so you
So,
know, what is your favorite track off the album, and would you like to talk about it?
off the live record, ooh,
Yeah, the live album.
you know, I mean, really, I love it all, but um, what's one of the songs that's for me that's special on the live recording is Goblin's Blade because that song was off the first record, and you know we really weren't that happy with the production on the first record. We felt like there was a lot left to be desired, and it didn't really capture the band the way we would have liked it to be. And so it's sort of a vindication, like hearing that song just like really crushing and just big and just awesome. So it's really refreshing to listen to that song like that, on the live aspect because it turned out amazing.
With Bleed the World Live coming out March 14th, 2025, where can the album be pre-ordered or purchased?
Nuclear Blast, or you can go to our webpage, our website, and our store. You can look us up on Heathen Thrash, which is on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and you can look it up and then go to our store. You can pre-order it in the States. If you're in Europe, it's probably better to go through Nuclear Blast because of the shipping. And hopefully there'll be some stores that'll carry it. I know that the the dynamic for record sales and all that kind of stuff is changed in the last 5 to 10 years, but hopefully it'll be in the stores as well.
We've got four more for the interview, and then I'll need a couple of station IDs.
Okay.
This fourth last one of the interview is really going to get your memory jogging. What made you want to do a song by the band The Sweet Cup? That was a cover you guys did.
uh it's a funny thing because it wasn't a plan, and we were already getting ready to go in the studio, and we were already kind of working with Ronnie Montrose, getting ready. And I came to the studio one night to practice, and Lee was like, "What do you think about covering Set Me Free?" And I'm like, "You mean by Sweet?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Well, I don't know." And he kind of pulled it out and we kind of jammed on it. And it was kind of like, fucking pretty freaking cool, like it could be something cool. And we worked on it and then we played it for Ronnie and he was like, "Yeah, I think that would be killer." And the label ate it up and they actually they were the ones that wanted to do the video for that song, you know. But I think for some of the fans, might have been a little confusing because some of our stuff's heavier than that. But it did kind of capture a side of us that shows what we can do besides just, you know what I mean? Not just the heavy stuff, but we can do something that's more, dynamic like that. And um, it's, one of the songs that gets people fucking up on their feet, man, for sure.
Cool, man. And just so you know, I'm actually a vocalist myself. I actually do death metal, black metal, and grindcore style stuff.
Oh, cool.
The
Cool.
moon she is like a cruel portrait. Recognize that artist from
Oh, yeah.
the label that was on Nuclear Blast at one point, Cradle of Filth.
Oh, Cradle of Filth. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do low talking like him at times and can pull it off flawlessly. Took me 3 years to learn it, but I've managed to get it down real good.
Well, that's no joke. That's, for sure. Our guitar player, our new guitar player, Kyle Edisi, also, plays in a technical death metal band, and they're called Invicta. And he's a singer guitar player, and he can get it going pretty good. And so like all the stuff, all the gutter roll type stuff that I did on the Evolution of Chaos, um, he does for us live. And so we get him involved in that and he sings too. He'll sing with me and do harmonies. But when there's times to get that, Kyle does it because he does it well. Does it better than me. you know.
Is it okay if we get on to the third last question, Amy? Because we're
Uh,
getting down to the last 10 minutes of our
all
time
right.
slot.
All
What
right.
social media outlets can the band be found on?
Uh, I know for sure we're in Facebook and Instagram. Um, there might be something on Twitter, but also YouTube. We've got a lot of content on YouTube, lots of videos, and then the new live video that accompanies the first single, "Sun in My Hand," is on YouTube. So those are the ones I know about.
This last one, the second last one of the interview, is a really good one, and it might get you on a bit of a 2 3 minute rant, but we should be able to get done on time and get the station ID. So,
Okay.
what vocal tips or advice would you give the starting out vocalists to help them get themselves better?
Stop
Drunkard,
stop smoking. Stop smoking and work on your abs. You want to have good, strong abs for your breathing, you know, drink lots of water, you know, and when you're on the road, you know, take care of yourself, you know, take care of that voice because that's your instrument. That's what you got to, you got to be able to bring it every night. And it doesn't matter what style of vocals you're doing, you still got to take care of it. And if you're doing death metal vocals, man, you don't want to be able to do it one night and not be able to do it the next night. So, everything you can do to take care of yourself health wise, I recommend it. That's what I do. And then when we have a day off, then I party a little bit.
just so
But
you
I
know, I've actually been doing death metal vocals since I was 16. I went from stuff like Malignancy, Broken Oak, Deicide, Incantation, all that old school stuff.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. And now that leaves us with the last question of the interview, and I'll need the station IDs. What new band news do you have on the Heathen front? As in anything we might have missed in this interview that hasn't been covered yet?
Well, we're getting ready to do some shows in May. We're going to play a festival in Chicago at Reggie's. And then we're doing a festival in Mexico in Guadalajara. Um, that's on the 17th of May. It's a big festival. And then we have some tour dates that are going to be announced soon, but I can't divulge that just yet. But that's coming, and it's a short tour that we're going to do in May in between those two festival dates in the States.
Cool. And just so you know, I hope if you guys do make a chance to make your way up there, I hope you come up here to Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada for a show at some point.
Nice, yeah.
Because then we could get to meet, hang out, and possibly if it's after the show and it's not too late for you guys, get you at least over here to do a possible co-host for my radio show with me on air over at Mango Music Radio, buddy.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and that leads us now to the station IDs. The first one is, hey, this is David of Heathen, and you're listening to Mangled Music Radio.
Okay, you ready? This is
Remember,
David White from Heathen, and you're listening to what is it again? Mangled
Mangled Music Radio.
Mangled Music. Okay. This is David White from Heathen, and you're listening to Mangled Music Radio.
And the second one's for Craig's Metal Storm, similar station ID. And you want to know what I came up with the Metal Storm video name for my show? The Metal Storm NES video game. It goes, hey, this is David of Heathen, and you're listening to Craig's Metal Storm.
Craig's Metal Storm. All right. This is David White from Heathen, and you're listening to Craig's Metal Storm. Did I blow it?
No, you got it.
I
Cool.
thought I left something out. This is David White from Heathen, and you're listening to Craig's Metal Storm.
Cool. Thank you very much for the time, David. Thank you very much for the interview. And thank you to Kristen and Nuclear Blast for setting us up for this talk tonight. You have yourself a wonderful rest tonight, buddy, and we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thanks, man. Good luck with everything. Take care of your voice, brother.
Yeah, you too. Have a good one.
All
Bye.
right. You too. Bye.